In your 4 previous playoff games, the offense didn't score more than 20 points. How much more confident do you feel that this year's offense has the ability to put up the points you need to win in the playoffs?
I'm very confident. Very, very confident. Extremely confident.
That's Lamar Jackson saying he is extremely confident that the Baltimore Ravens can finally score 20 points this time around, Saturday, 3:30, against the Houston Texans. I believe the line is still Ravens by 9, at least per mybookie.ag. And joining me right now in studio, not just Mr. President of the Pro Football Writers Association of Houston, but also Mr. TV. We accommodated his busy schedule so we could still get him on this week because he was on ESPN all day yesterday.
I'm tired.
I could imagine.
Yeah. Nah, TV can, be a little taxing, but
DJ, it's the playoff grind though. The Texans are in the playoffs. I'm in the playoffs by proxy. Did you see? I walked to work yesterday.
You walked to work.
1.1 miles there,
Why'd you walk
1.1
to
miles
work?
back. Solidarity.
What's wrong with this guy?
Well, solidarity with the Houston
Sean, what's
Texans.
wrong with this guy?
I kind of wish you would come yesterday because we talked at the game on Saturday and I looked awesome. I was wearing a
You
suit.
did, man. You look good, man. The suit,
And
the tie.
I've worn a Batman costume with you in studio before.
Now you wearing a Batman costume is even more disgraceful.
You would have been so angry with me yesterday.
What did you wear?
I was wearing a ski suit.
What's wrong with you?
It was like a brightly colored ski suit as well. Sean's shaking his head behind the glass.
This man is whatever age you are. Sometimes it's 38, sometimes it's 52. But you act like sometimes
I'm young at heart.
Yeah, sometimes you act like you're 15.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Me and my girlfriend actually got in an argument about that the other day.
Really? Are you acting too old or are you acting too young?
I was acting too young.
Oh, you were?
I was acting too young.
What were you doing?
I wasn't even doing anything. I wasn't even doing anything. All I did was this little hand gesture where if you look at it, I could like neck you or whatever. Ooh. And she was like, "You're so immature." I was like, "No, I'm not."
He's just bringing some spice to the relationship.
That's it, man. That's it, man. But back to the question about Lamar. What is he supposed to say though?
I agree with you, and Sean Mapes and I were talking about it during before we played the audio during the commercial break. Maybe that's a shot at Greg Roman and this offense that he's been stuck with the last couple of years. Yeah, you got to be confident going into a game like this.
Yeah, like I don't even you can be a 20-point underdog going into a game. You're still going to be, if you're in the NFL, for the most part, the team's going to be confident that they can win that game. I get maybe that report that's had a story to do regarding the fact that they never have scored over 20 points with Lamar Jackson. He just probably needed a quote. But yeah, Lamar is obviously going to be of course he's confident. I think probably the better question would have been you guys haven't scored over 20 points in a playoff game. What do you think some of the reasons are for that, and how can you correct that going into this game?
That's Big J, DJ.
Big J journalism, went to University of Columbia.
Hell yeah.
Spent $100,000 to go in debt.
Yep, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
And then you realize, oh wait, journalism doesn't pay?
Yeah,
Damn, I'm just going to be stuck in this forever.
Forever.
Yep, I understand that feeling. Okay, so the last time this game was played, week 1, 25-9, the Ravens won rather convincingly. Texans hung in this game for a while.
Yeah.
They did a really good job against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud was running for his life behind an offensive line that seemed like it was put together at the last second due to some injuries. And of course, not Titus Howard. In that game, Michael Dieter stepped in at right tackle for George Fant.
Oh my God. Could you remember that?
Yes, that was an awful play.
And what was funny was he wasn't supposed to be at right tackle. That they looked like a complete first-year operation as anybody could look like on the offensive end.
Their offensive line was so bad in that game. They didn't know how to use Tank Dell at that point.
Yeah.
Nico Collins produced. So I guess we'd both agree in that the last time that these two teams played is completely different than what we should expect on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, like you mentioned, obviously still no Tank Dell regardless. He was in that game, but he wasn't used that much. He won't be in this game. But Nico is obviously a far better player. There's more offensive line continuity. Damian Pierce is no longer RB1 or RB2. The offensive line has way more, again, continuity. CJ Stroud is, from that point on has been, a top 5, 8 quarterback in this entire league. So, yeah, the teams are completely different. The defense, I mean, you just never know what to expect with the defense, right? they held the Browns to 14 points after giving them 36 the other time. Like, you just never know what to expect with them.
It's up and down every week.
It's
Like
up-
Zach
yeah.
Wilson kills them, and then Joe Flacco, who's on fire and killed them a couple of weeks before. He has those 2 good drives where they find the tight ends, but then after the first pick 6, that was it.
Yeah, that was literally it. Blew the game wide open, and that was that. But yeah, this game is going to be, they're both completely 2 different teams. The only thing that does give me a little bit of concern is the Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike Macdonald. He's absolutely dismantled the 2 Kyle Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan proteges, and Bobby Slowick is obviously a Kyle Shanahan protege. He's absolutely dismantled both of them with a lot of cover 6s, things of that nature, muddying up the picture. Granted, CJ Stroud can create more than Brock and Tua can, but we have seen throughout the year the offense stalls a lot when CJ's forced to have to be off schedule a bunch, right? Like, the numbers at the end will look good. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars game, like the numbers look good. 300 yards, I think 3 total touchdowns, but in reality, the offense couldn't, gain any type of consistency throughout the game, and there was a lot of, spurts where the offense wasn't moving the ball much, and they weren't really being efficient. And again, like Mike Macdonald, that's why I think he's done the best DC job in the entire league, because he has answers to the problems that the offense is creating in game. Where, like, some people thought Jim Schwartz was, the assistant coach of the year. But for me, when I watched him, it was more, our guys are better than your guys, and we're gonna call those type of coverages, and our guys are just gonna be better than your guys. And Bobby Slow was able to thrash that the second time he went against that. So I'm really interested to see what Mike Macdonald does versus Bobby Slowick.
DJ Bien-Aime, ESPN.com, Houston Texans beat reporter, with me in studio. It's interesting you mentioned Mike Macdonald. I'll be honest, when I hear Mike Macdonald, the first thing that I think of...
Oh, Macdonald had a farm.
No, DJ. I'm more cultured than that. I think about the Doobie Brothers legend, Michael McDonald.
What? Oh.
Right.
Oh, hold on.
I mean, he. So there's a rap song. I forget the one.
Hold on, let me double check.
That his song is the background, but the song that I love the best by him is I Keep Forgetting. I keep forgetting I'm not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. So that's what I always think of when I think of Michael McDonald. Also, shout out to you for joining in and singing with me.
Yeah,
Finally,
I know that song.
It's about damn time. But I've been seeing Mike McDonald, DJ, getting his butt kissed, mainly by people in Seattle, because they all want to hire him as the next head coach of the Seahawks. And I'm guessing it's for the exact reason that you mentioned, because he's so good against Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, absolutely. He's legit. He's legit. When you thwart the Niners offense the way that he did, imagine they're fairly healthy. Like, everybody was there. I mean, obviously Trent got hurt, I think, at some point in that game. But
Trent Williams.
Yeah, but like, they were healthy for the majority of that game. And granted, like, they did move the ball, but they forced a lot of turnovers against the Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins scored. They were moving the ball with ease early, but then they made their adjustments, and the Dolphins offense was completely thwarted at that point. And obviously Lamar went absolutely nuclear in both games. But yeah, man, Mike Macdonald is going to be a legitimate problem for Bobby Slowick in this Texans offense. Again, like, beyond Mike Macdonald, you have, Raekwon Smith, who's arguably the best linebacker in the game. Patrick Queen and Raekwon Smith, they are the best linebacker duo in the entire league.
And then there's Jadeveon Clowney, who's there.
Yeah.
He's got 9.5 sacks. He's always just short of 10. Kyle Hamilton, who everyone loves.
Right.
You have at corner Bradley Roby, who's having a really good season. It's a good defense. I looked at some of the numbers, DJ, before the game. So defensively for Baltimore, against the pass, in terms of yards total, they're 8th. But in terms of yards per attempt, only Cleveland was better. They're second. They're 5th in completion percentage allowed. And they're number 1 in sacks with 60. And for context, the Texans have 46, 47 sacks this year, which is a franchise record in 17 games. 60 sacks is a lot of sacks. They obviously sacked CJ Stroud 5 times. So a very, very good defense.
And they lead the league in points off turnovers. So if you turn the ball over, Lamar Jackson, the offense will make you pay.
Yikes.
So yeah, like, this is as complete of a team in the entire NFL. Like, this is why they're the best team in the NFL. They're 10-4 against teams with a winning record. They are the only team I think like they lost to that had winning records are like teams within their division, right?
Right.
And maybe somebody else that I'm forgetting that they lost to. Oh, they lost to the Colts, surprisingly. But that when you went in OT, and I think that was like week 2 or 3 of the season where it's still early and things are a little funky and things of that nature. Like, but yeah, like this team is OMG, like OMG. This team is legit. Like, they don't have that many holes. They can. And
What would the hole
multiple.
be? What would the hole be defensively?
Their cornerback spot isn't great, and Marlon Humphreys is dealing with a calf injury. He missed practice on Tuesday, I believe. So I would say that.
Okay.
That's probably like their weakest spot is that, but still, like.
I was trying to find some myself, and I saw their 14th against the run total and 24th in yards per attempt. Is this going to be one of those games where Devin Singletary in the running game actually works? Because what you're talking about, if Mike McDonald is this defensive savant like everyone is painting him to be right now,
Yeah,
and again, the results speak for themselves this year, but if he is that guy, you would think that they're going to be able to neutralize a Texans running attack that has been rather inconsistent, but very good occasionally this season.
Yeah. And, I mean, they're going to have to lean into it for sure. Again, like they're gonna have a balanced attack. This is not the defense you want to get back into a heavy drop back pass game. Obviously, I mean, in reality, in the playoffs, you don't want to have especially your rookie quarterback. But let's take a tag off of CJ. He's not a rookie anymore. Makes him play like one. But you don't want your quarterback to have to throw the ball over 40 times in a playoff game. At his age, mainly because again, like bad things could happen, especially against this defense that has been one of the best in the entire league. So yeah, they're going to be balanced. So then when it's allowed, their play action, pass stuff can be very effective. Like again, like CJ, I think actually all 3 of his touchdowns came off a play action pass, right? Obviously Bobby Slowick had Jim Schwartz in a headlock, the nastiest headlock I've ever seen Bobby Slowick have somebody in the entire season.
It was really
so
awesome.
Like how many wide open guys were just running down the field. It was kind of similar to like what Matt LaFleur did against Dan Quinn against the Cowboys, where like you had so many guys just wide open play after play after play, and same with Bobby Slowick versus Jim Schwartz. So I think Bobby Slowick going to dig in that bag again. But I do think what helps them is that they did play this defense before earlier in the season, because a lot of things they like to do a lot of sim pressures where they can like confuse the offensive line to get free rush runners at the quarterback, or creates a lot of one-on-ones that can get to the quarterback, which can cause some issues in that regard. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that. I remember asking CJ yesterday about that, and he said obviously like that gives us the opportunity to learn from our mistakes from week 1, and he felt like they have corrected them.
Let's shift to talking about CJ Stroud. DJ Bien-Aime in studio with us, Houston Texans beat reporter for ESPN.com. It's the Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Stroud had some really awesome moments on Saturday, and I mean, he only played 3 quarters.
Basically.
And he barely even played in the 3rd quarter because the Texans had all those pick sixes.
Right.
I saw some gradings of his performance, and there's a little bit of controversy over Jordan Love being rated higher than him on Pro Football Focus. Let's forget about Pro Football Focus, though, and just focus on where he ranks among quarterbacks in these playoffs and as a whole. We talked about this on Monday. I think it's really hard for us locally to put Stroud anywhere lower than number 3 among quarterbacks in the NFL, behind probably Mahomes, behind
the playoffs
Joe
right now,
Burrow.
right?
But yeah, if we're as a whole, and in the playoffs. So let's start with as a whole, because you're making a look.
Lower than 3?
I don't think you can put him lower than 3. People here locally, I don't think they would put CJ Stroud lower than 3rd among quarterbacks in the NFL.
Entire NFL.
In the entire NFL.
Is it cocaine?
Is it cocaine?
Yeah,
So what?
Lamar, Patrick, Josh Allen, right there. That's 3 right there. That's 3 right there. That's
How
3 right
about? So I have not Lamar. I have Mahomes and Burrow.
What? You don't have Lamar?
I don't know
Lamar's about to win MVP for the 2nd time in 4 years. But what?
You know exactly what. It's the annoying playoff thing. But
Oh,
the playoff
brother.
thing is an issue.
You're losing your mind. Listen.
That's not losing my
Love
mind.
CJ.
The results are what they
Love
are.
CJ. He will win an MVP at one point. Want to make the qualifier. CJ Stroud will win MVP at one point or another. He will win MVP at one point or another. I'm on record saying that. He will at one point be viewed as a consensus top 5 guy in the league. We are not putting him above a Lamar Jackson. Like what? That's crazy. Like, do you understand how hard it is to be a 2-time MVP?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we can't be like, oh well, CJ is better than Lamar Jackson. Well, we can't go there yet.
Here's the counter to that. Who would you rather have at the end of the game if you were trailing?
Lamar Jackson.
You would have Lamar Jackson in the playoffs while trailing. I get that this is how the argument turns into, DJ, and it is annoying.
But it's lazy.
But
it's very lazy.
But sometimes lazy and simple is enough.
No, it's not.
Why not?
Because Lamar Jackson struggled in the playoffs, not mainly because of only Lamar, but because of the Greg Roman system that teams, as the season progressed, were able to create a game plan that would limit it because they didn't rely much on wide receivers. They didn't invest much in wide receivers. And we see throughout the entire NFL that if you don't have legitimate wide receivers, you will struggle. Period, point blank. And as a play out, okay, we saw it against the Chargers. They put basically 6 DBs out there and they're able to neutralize the zone read action. Okay, and then against the Titans, his receivers were dropping a plethora of passes left and right that were stalling the drives, which caused them to, again, and then their defense. Hey, I didn't know Lamar Jackson played defense. I didn't know Lamar Jackson was also throwing passes and trying to catch and tackle Derrick Henry. And it's all his fault that Derrick Henry went absolutely nuclear, ran for almost 200 yards, and they put up 28
Earl
points.
Thomas trying to tackle him.
Yeah, exactly. And then, Ryan Tannehill threw a touchdown to Raymond, and they jumped out. Okay, and then again against the Buffalo Bills, my fault that it was windy, the conditions were horrific. Lamar, remember Josh Allen?
Gotta play in the conditions.
Josh Allen didn't go crazy in that game either, did he? Yeah, no. Lamar Jackson threw a pick 6. Ooh, he threw a pick 6. It happens. He also left that game concussed. He also left that game concussed.
I got you.
Okay, so I'm just saying like the MVP. We didn't do this with Peyton Manning. We didn't do this with Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning didn't win a playoff game until year 6.
Yeah,
and we didn't do that with Peyton Manning.
We did in Boston. We sure did.
Oh, whatever. You didn't even grow up in Boston. You grew up in Tampa.
Oh, but no. I was listening to Boston Sports Talk at the time, and everyone thought Peyton Manning sucked during those days. Because I thought he sucked coming out of college. To be fair,
because people have Boston fans have CTE, but that's not the here.
I was a Florida Gator fan / Patriots fan, so of course I hated Peyton Manning, and of course I doubted Peyton Manning. But to your point,
we can't do this with Lamar Jackson when we talking about the play. Like he did this. Now, if we want to compare him to Mahomes, fine. But we're not finna say C.J. Stroud is better than Lamar Jackson because of playoffs.
You could say that you would take C.J. Stroud over Lamar Jackson, though, because you have doubts over what Lamar Jackson is going to do in the next. It's because, look, I'm not saying it's rational or logical.
He's a 2-time MVP.
I'm not saying it's rational or logical.
Only other person that's done that since 2019. Well, let's go from 2018 to now. The only 2 other people that have 2 MVPs is Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. That's it.
Yeah.
We can't sit here and say CJ is. I would rather see. I get it. If you're a fan and you want to take CJ over Lamar and you're a Texans fan, cool. Hey, give me reasons that don't say playoff. He doesn't have any playoff wins. He doesn't do well.
The reason I would give is that I think that CJ Stroud is a better thrower of the football.
Oh no! Oh my God!
DJ just got up. Is he leaving studio?
Oh my God!
He's coming back dramatically.
And I think CJ is a phenomenal ball play specialist. So is Lamar Jackson.
Right, but I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson's bad at it.
So Lamar. Let's say Lamar and CJ are even when it comes to ball play specialists. You see what that brother do with his legs?
I do.
Okay.
And that could be the big equalizer in a game.
It's not an equalizer. It's the difference maker, as Cam Newton would say. It's the game changer. It's the game changer.
Legs have been a big deal for quarterbacks in these playoffs thus far. Mahomes, Josh Allen, we've seen thus far. Okay, so let's shift out off the past the Lamar Jackson versus CJ Stroud conversation. Because you mentioned, hang on. Right. You mentioned something a moment ago. Lamar Jackson, okay, no Greg Roman anymore. Totally true.
Yes.
Todd Monken's the offense.
Yes.
Are his weapons for this game coming up on Saturday, how much better are they than last year? Because
way better.
Hang on. We're not 100% sure about Mark Andrews' status. Not 100% sure. I believe he was out of practice, but he's been out for a couple of months. You have Zay Flowers. You have Odell Beckham Jr., who I do not think is still the same Odell Beckham Jr. It is clearly better than what he has had to work with in the past. How much better is my big question.
It's drastically better. I don't even think it's like even that much like debatable because you have Zay Flowers, you have Nelson Aguilar, you have again Odell, you have Isaiah Likely. I think it's the fact that this receiving core has way more juice than ever before. I'm looking at the list right now. Do you know who led the Ravens in pass and who led the Raven wide receivers.
Zay Flowers, right?
In 2022.
Oh, in 2022. No, I do not.
DeMarcus Robinson led
He's a former chief.
Raven wide receivers in yards with, stay with me, 452 for an entire season. Have 400. I can't believe what I'm
Sounds
reading.
like that was Lamar Jackson's
I didn't know that. Oh my God, this is insane. I can't believe this.
Wait, who's number 2? Mark Andrews? Well, Mark Andrews led them in.
Duvernay was 407.
Hell yeah.
But Lamar Jackson can't get a playoff win. It's all him. Like talking about going back to CJ and Lamar. Let's go to the coordinators. How many times? Take off my glasses again. Did we see wide open guys that Bobby Sloak was scheming up that obviously CJ was able to fire bullets to? It was time after time after time where all they do is make one guy miss or beat one guy, touchdown. Like the tone screen, the fake handoff, tone screen to Nico Collins. That's chef kiss. Where did you see that from Greg Roman in the playoffs? But we want to put it all on Lamar Jackson. It's all Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying, we got to be fair when we talk about these quarterbacks when it comes to playoff stuff and whatnot.
We should be, but we aren't because we're people that watch sports for a living and we're psychos.
Yeah, let's be psychically fair. Okay. How about that?
We could try to be fair going forward, and we will see what happens on Saturday.
For sure. But, I think I say all that about his receiving core. It has way more juice. The Texans DB should be able to hold their own against that, mainly because, again,
Derek Stingley.
We can say it now.
They Stingley shadowed guys, finally.
We can say it now.
You've been waiting for this all year.
Stingley's better than Sauce Gardner. I know it's a hot take.
DJ, you are cooking today.
I understand it's a hot. And I ain't got that much sleep either. I'm cooking the tape without that much
Sauce
sleep.
is going to block you on Twitter.
Whatever. Anyway, so because my thing, here's where I come from. Stingley can give you, let's say for the sake of discussion, Stingley can give you 90% of what Sauce gives you in coverage. But Stingley's ball skills is like 1,000 times better than Sauce's. Like 1,000 times better than Sauce's.
Does have way more interceptions.
Yeah, like Sauce has 2 interceptions through 2 years. You feel me? Like, and again, that's not like Sauce is still a phenomenal cornerback. For my viewing experience, and what I like in cornerbacks, I like guys that can take it with the ball but still hold up in coverage. Like I wouldn't take Blaine from the Cowboys over Sauce. That's lunacy because he has to take the ball away, but he can also be barbecue chicken in coverage at times, where Sauce isn't barbecue chicken in coverage. But Sauce doesn't take the ball away.
What kind of chicken is Sauce Gardner in coverage?
I mean, he ain't bad.
Souvlaki?
Nah, he ain't barbecue. He ain't no type of chicken in coverage. Like he gonna hold it down in coverage. I'm gonna give him that. I'm not gonna disrespect Sauce in that regard. But Stingley's gonna take the ball away, and that matters more because again, at the end of the day, the turnover battle settles a lot of games. We saw that in the wild card game. Once the Browns started turning the ball over with back-to-back pick sixes, the game was over. Right? Because they were actually driving before they threw that pick to Steven Nelson. They were driving. If they get a field goal, if they get a touchdown, now it's a completely different game. Pick, back to the crib, game over. Right? So that's how valuable interceptions are to me. And again, we haven't seen Sauce. Granted, he has DJ Reed on the other side, so I have to respect DJ Reed, and you can't really make him follow when you have DJ Reed on the side.
DJ Reed's a good corner.
He's a really good corner.
I covered him in Seattle.
But Steven Nelson pretty good too, and we saw Stingley shadow Amari Cooper, and for the majority of the game, 0 catches. 0 catches. I don't think we've seen Sauce have a performance like that in a league where he followed a premier guy like that who went for 265 against the same team and same defense, and he completely shut them down. I know I'm going to get a lot of bleep from Jet fans, but oh well.
You're going to get a lot of bleep from everybody this time.
Oh well.
But you were cooking. I liked it. Real quick, who's winning? He's putting his glasses back on. He's breathing deeply.
I think this is,
Mr. President.
I think this is,
Sir, I need an answer. I need a prediction.
I think this is where the Texans' great season comes from.
Oh, get out of here. Get out. Get out. It's DJ Bien-Aime. Check out his work, ESPN.com. He's great. This was fun.